Hi, everyone. Welcome all of you to episode 4 of the Purposeful Dad podcast. I am your coach, Suji, and I'm here along with our beautifully kind speaker who is all into Alpha Dad coaching, who is assisting so many men just to help them transform their journey to become better parents, to become better fathers, and raise children with a lot of love, values, kindness, and compassion. He's using a blend of science and spirituality to allow you to heal your emotional baggages, to create that mindset shift, and to make yourself a beautifully compassionate parent. So help me welcoming Aman Juneja, aka Kabir. Thank you so much once again to be here. It's totally humbling to have you here.
Thank you so much, Suji, for having me here, for being on this journey with me, for being a channel where we are creating that space where men can smoothly embrace fatherhood by embracing their emotions, creating that beautiful emotional legacy for their amazing divine children. Thank you.
Wow. I really need to thank you because this is one of a unique kind of contribution, I would say, that you're doing to humankind. Because the more kind, the more compassionate, the more affectionate men are, it not just nurtures their child, but also the entire planet.
100%.
Especially me being in this physical body, in this female body, I would love to see men who are more empathetic, who are more understanding, who are more kind, right? So it's a beautiful journey that we both are into right now to give this, sharing, to give this knowledge, to create that impact, and also to give them some helpful tools which people can use, people can implement in their life, and they can bring the knowledge and the practicality together. Because just having the knowledge and not using it is a knowledge wasted,
Agree. Agree.
right? So yes, so very excited to start off, Kabir. And I would like to start maybe again with one of your beautiful stories in life. That how did you meet that leader inside you?
Or how did I meet the father inside of?
Yes, like you say, the creator, the father, and the leader. So,
So, since it's applicable to everyone, but since my emotional connection is with fatherhood, so for myself, I will apply this term. So, even in the capacity of leading a team, I would say it's stepping into the role of a father, right? But one need to embrace it. One need to understand that it's the same process where you're nurturing a team or you are nurturing your children. Process remains same, the bhav, the emotion remains same behind it, feeling remains same. So the question is, where did I meet the father, right? Inside of me. Good question. Good question, actually. Let it, flow to me.
I know it's
A
very deep.
very
Yeah.
deep, very deep question.
Yes, because
Yeah.
men, if they can resonate with this journey of yours,
Right, right. So I would say somehow naturally this instinct of being a father was there inside of me. As I even shared in the last week's podcast, where I shared the incident of my manager and I observing him closely, and he was about to be a father. The question which came occurred to me was, if he is being so fearful, what will he give to his child who's just about to be birthed? Now, even that question, what it reveals to me is that maybe somehow even at that time I was strongly having this feeling inside of me to be a father. But
hmm,
now I think the question is, your question is more with respect to how did I meet the father within me, right?
yes, yes,
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there is an intersection here because both of these journeys, meeting the father outside of me, I don't have a physical child right now, but I still have that feeling, that notion, strong notion inside of me. And now at this point of time, it is stronger than ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was the preparation which was going on. The
Yeah.
preparation which was going on. And there was no one particular time where I met the father, not one particular moment. But
Mm-hmm.
now, as I connect the dots, when my healing journey started,
Mm-hmm.
so I was trying many different things. I was going to this ashram, that ashram, meeting different gurus, my mentors, practicing different kind of healing modalities. Back then, when I was doing it, I was in that zone. Maybe, I am doing it for enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it all for spirituality, to, connect with my own self. But now, in this level of awareness, today, where I am right now, sitting, standing, I could see that this whole thing was a preparation to meet that father.
Wow.
The whole, it was like a mala of motis, right?
Yeah.
But it was not woven in one thread. Different beads had different flavors, different journeys, different experiences. Whether it was an experience of a emotional heartbreak, whether it was emotional healing, whether it was experience of travel, or maybe my boss saying something to me, or that experience of that manager, of that experience of my mother in the childhood, right?
Yeah.
Nothing was connecting.
Hmm.
But now I see that everything was preparing me. Now I see everything has fallen into place.
Yes.
So that has revealed me my purpose, and that is where I meet my father within me. And at this point of time, sitting right here in front of you, I am being the best father to my own self first.
Hmm.
This whole realization of meeting the father, what it has done is, first of all, it has allowed me to become my own father. And
Wow.
what do I mean by saying that is allowing, creating that space,
Mm-hmm.
as I've already shared in the previous podcast as well. Creating that space, allowing that space. Now, every time I am feeling a certain emotion, whether it is an emotion of abandonment, which was my core emotion,
Mm-hmm.
right? I still feel that at times. It's not that I have healed, because healing again is a journey, as we have established.
Yes.
So, this time, at this point of time, at this level of awareness, I don't distract myself from it. I don't run away from it, or I don't react to situations. I
And that
listen.
comes from a space of awareness.
That comes from a space of awareness, or that comes from a space of fatherhood, or
Yes.
meeting that father within.
Correct. And these experiences have added on to, what you have become today,
It
right?
has it has built, like, it was building me to be here in this moment, to be open, to be vulnerable, and to share and maybe help even one man today, right? Via this, one being, man, woman, doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. And with
So,
all that you are saying right now, with all your past experiences, with all the sacred places that you have visited for different reasons, right? It might have started with your healing journey and then your learning journey and then your evolution journey. In all this, what I see is you're giving a different flavor of what does a dad mean. Like what I get, basically, you're not just talking about a biological father. Like if you're already feeling it, then you see a spectrum of fatherhood. So can you shed light on that? That what is your definition about the entire umbrella of a father or a dad?
mm. So one thing which I have already shared is, Uh, Fatherhood, you know, just like when we assume any kind of a role, right?
Yeah.
We don't really wait to step into that, but we
Yes.
start preparing for it firsthand. Like for example, studying for MBBS. You assume before you assume the role of a doctor, you already start to prepare for that role 5 6 years in advance, like
Yeah.
sometimes 7 years.
It's there in your head.
You
You
have
need.
already started building towards that.
Correct.
अभी आप पेशेंट को ट्रीट नहीं करोगे क्योंकि अभी आपका
सही.
स्किल सेट नहीं है, राइट?
सीखना है पर.
अभी आप सीख रहे हो,
Correct.
but you start assuming that role,
Yeah.
right? So you
Yeah.
start preparing and assuming that role, and then by and by studying, by assuming those skills, and then by practicing, you eventually go and treat a patient after 10 years of your preparation.
Yes.
Similarly for engineering, similarly for any kind of a profession, any kind of a role. So उसी तरीके से I feel for every man, now I am considering, every man is like
Yeah.
uh, assuming that every man is on my journey. Some may be aware, some may be not aware, but I think it's instinctive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's instinctive. Okay. And this instinct is already there inside of us to be a father. And now, father does not necessarily means that you have to have your child in front of you to be a father. उस टाइम पे तो आप ट्रीट जैसे यू व्हेन यू द पेशेंट इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू विल ट्रीट द पेशेंट then you cannot start preparing for the role of a doctor.
Yes.
Similarly, when the child is there in front of you, you're already a father. अब तो आपको वो निभाना है रोल.
Yeah.
So in your own life's journey, what now I am connecting all the dots, even sitting right here with your beautiful question, Suji. So you are guiding me towards it. Every incident which happened in my life right since childhood, I was not aware what was it doing to me. It was helping me meet the father inside of me. And when I say the father is a protector as well as a nurturer. Okay.
Yeah.
And it may have, you said the umbrella term, right? So a father within, the father which is there inside of us. What does your outside father do? Suji, if I ask you this question, what do you feel ideally is the role of your the biological father, the father which you have outside in the physical space? What is the role of that father?
Wow, that takes me back to my childhood. So
Okay.
thank you. And
Okay.
when I look at, my biological father, it was all about providing for education, providing for food, providing for clothing, providing for shelter. So it was more of responsibilities.
Mhm. Okay. But what according to you?
Mhm.
So this was one aspect which you observed happening outside.
Mhm. With my
You
parents.
should be there.
Okay.
Huh.
It's giving that space for me as a child to explore this world. Like, even when as a child, I might do a lot of mistakes, but giving me that privilege that, okay, fine, I am right here for you. You do what you want to do. But
Mhm.
I am there as your guiding force, the one who's there to support you, the one who's there to lift you up, to motivate you, to encourage you. That is an ideal, a father, a friend. I see a friend in a father there.
Right.
Because then it's not just about the task or the responsibilities that you're doing, but you're involved in that. You're giving life to that bonding.
Mhm. You're giving your awareness, your presence to it, your energy to it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, follow-up question. Uh, since how long have you been into healing journey, self-healing journey?
Self-healing, I think 10, 11 years.
10, 11 years. Okay. In this self-healing journey, the space which you are talking about, which, ideally a father must give to the child, do you observe giving yourself this space?
Initially, I didn't.
You did not.
No.
Okay.
Because initially there was a lot of resistance
Mm-hmm.
because of whatever you have learned as per the societal norms and all the things. And gradually, when I started realizing that if I'm not willing to accept my own flaws,
Right.
because people judged, I also kept judging. So every time I have to do something new, I need to stand in front of people and talk. And my critique is standing loud, like, tumse to hoga nahi. And then that literally shattered me even more that I am my own enemy. Like I couldn't literally be myself.
Hmm.
So when I started beating myself up with all these experiences that were coming, and I literally started seeing even people walking out.
Hmm.
There was not many left even to have that patience to be there. And then I understood that if I am not giving in to myself, if I'm not surrendering to my own space where I can explore, I can work on myself, I can be, patient and kind with myself, nobody would do that because it's a lot of a work.
Okay. So, by and by, initially, when you were beating yourself, you realized that you yourself are not there for yourself, right? You are not holding that space, standing up for yourself.
Definitely, because there was a lot of mental blocks. There
Right.
was a lot of conditioning involved in it.
Right. And then once you realized it, with that realization and with that new awareness, then you started holding that space, right?
Yes,
And how did that help you?
that was
Go
like
ahead,
if today, if I'm sorry,
please
you
go
want
ahead.
to, yeah?
No, no, your eyes and smile was actually saying that what you were trying to say in words. So,
Yeah.
yes, please go ahead.
Because before, for me, maybe to just smile at myself was also very difficult. It was
Hmm.
like a heaviness around my, heart area. But today, I can just sit and smile to myself. I can talk to myself. I can say, I love you to myself. And there's nothing holding me back. And then I was like, okay, what was then holding me back for all these decades? Then I'm like, okay, nobody held it.
Hmm.
Nobody restricted me.
Right.
It was all in my head.
Hmm.
Somewhere I was my own blockage.
You were your own blockage. Okay. I will say this in a different term. You said your ideal father should be is the one who gives you space to explore, to be, right? And then when you started your self-healing journey, you were not giving that space to your own self. But by and by, you started giving that space to yourself. And then now you can be whatever you want to be in this moment, however expression is coming out, right?
Yes.
So you said you were blocking yourself.
Uh-huh.
Now, can we say that you were not being your own father, but now you have allowed that space where you are just like what you were expecting from your father, you are doing that to your own self now,
Yes.
right?
Now I'm walking and talking and practicing. It's like we say, right? Practice what you preach.
Right,
I think what I expected from someone outside me, I think I have become that for myself.
right.
And now the expectations externally from people have reduced a lot. Now it's not like you need to give me happiness. You need to make me feel good. You need to make me feel special. You need to make me feel valued.
And the bonding might have also become very strong with them since the expectations has gone down,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Why?
Now
Because
there is no rift.
there is no rift. Why? Because what you were expecting others to do for you, you gave that to your own self. And if we cannot give that to our own self first, If I can't be a father to my own self, how can I expect anyone else to give me that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So this is the umbrella of fatherhood I'm talking about, like you first create that space for your own self. I was
Very.
doing that since past many years, just like, you shared that you were doing it.
Mhm.
But I was also not aware of this, that I'm doing this. I am being a father to my own self. I am creating that space, holding that space for my own self. Okay. Uh, and dots become clear. They connect every time when I'm engaged in such conversation. Awareness expands.
Yeah.
This moment it is expanding. So that is what fatherhood is really about.
Mhm.
First, you begin with yourself.
Yes.
First,
To-
you start accepting, embracing, allowing that space to your own self. And one practical approach which I followed was, one which came as a gift to me. After my breakup in 2009, 2010, 11
Mhm.
was okay. 10, 11. What I used to do is I was not aware of any tools or any meditation practice. I just used to go sit in amidst nature in park. I used to keep my phone behind at home.
Mhm.
Okay. And I used to just go there, be there, sit, observe nature, observe everyone around me. Sometimes, people used to come and talk to me. So I was just there, being there, open. Whatever is happening, inside of me, outside of me, accepting and appreciating everything.
Mhm.
Okay. That's it. Like doing, had no idea about what are emotions, had no idea about how I was feeling. No, nothing at all. From that level of awareness, I am sharing this.
Okay.
Just sitting. And that sitting, sometimes, it used to happen for Sunday. I used to go there on Sunday mostly, on
Mhm.
a weekend, because it was free time. And sometimes sitting for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, not thinking about anyone else. So obviously, back of the mind, what my parents must be thinking, where is Aman or all of that. But okay, it's okay. I was
Mhm.
giving that space to my own self. That by and by started opening many channels for me, many avenues. But that is later on the journey.
Mhm.
But it started with all of this. It started with just this.
Wow. So if I ask you, what did nature communicate with you? Like what was the feeling that you felt when you were in the midst of nature for that 1 or 2 or 3 hours?
One thing which I want to share is in 2017, 16, I came across Osho.
Hmm.
And Osho shared this, sit with yourself amidst nature, listen to the birds. But now in this moment, I could see that, oh, in 2011, I was doing it. Okay. So I think somewhere it was innate to me. I was looking for a path, or
Hmm.
looking for, I was being guided. And each one of us is being guided. Okay. Each one of us is being guided. We just need to heed, listen to that.
Correct.
Okay. So what was nature communicating to me was, it's okay.
Wow.
It's all right.
That's the best expression.
That's it. Nothing else. It's
Yeah.
fine. Just be. जितनी टेंशन है जो चल रहा है हार्ट ब्रेक हो गया ब्रेकअप हो गया whatever है it's okay, just be in this moment now, like that's it, nothing.
Wow. Just when you're saying it, I can feel that, open arms of Mother Earth.
Right,
Like you're just here like a baby and just be as you are. It's okay for whatever has gone in life.
right.
This is a safe space for you.
And this is another flavor of fatherhood, a leader.
Mhm.
when you ask me, umbrella. Now, a lot of flavors of fatherhood are coming out. One is you hold that emotion, space where the child could be vulnerable, your own inner child, and then your child as well.
Yeah.
So, one thing we will keep on reiterating throughout this series of podcasts, whatever you are is what you give to your child, is what you give, right, is what you radiate outside. That's it.
True.
So another flavor which we can establish is what Mother Nature was communicating with me is also what a father is another flavor of a father. It's all right. To your
Hmm.
inner child, to your outer child. It's all right. It's okay.
Yes, very much. Yeah,
Really expands something within when you say this to your child, it's okay.
correct.
It's all right. It comes from a space of deep silence, this it's all right,
Yeah,
just in this tone and just in this, it comes from a very deep space of calmness and stillness within you,
true.
from a space of groundedness.
Yeah. And nature is grounded. So nature would really want to embrace, anyone who comes in. It could be humans, it could be animals, birds. But that is a place which keeps flourishing because there is so much of calmness, there is so much of stillness, and there is a lot of openness that it's okay.
Exactly. So usually we call it Mother Nature, but since it's a purposeful dad podcast, we are talking about alpha dad. What I could also connect was, how nature was teaching me fatherhood in that particular moment. When it would just allow me to come and sit in its in its in its lap for hours, and it would just accept me, allow me with all of my guilts and regrets and jealousies and pain and love, all different flavors of my being. It would just allow me, and it would say to me, whisper in my ears, it's all right.
Yeah.
In that particular moment, entire nature was teaching me fatherhood,
Even without saying a word.
even without saying a word.
And that's beautiful, right? Like when we are sharing our grievance, our worries, or our frustrations, maybe we are not expecting somebody to give a solution, give a, opinion, do this, do that. It's all about just be there for me, just listen.
Just be, yeah,
And that's exactly, I think, what nature did for you because the journey, what you shared right now, it's like you went through your highs and lows. And where you felt a moment that I just need to be myself. And the only place where you could be was in the midst of nature, on, Mother Nature's lap.
right,
So it was like you had your exams and then you're getting your lessons that this is what means to be a father.
right. Even with
No
all of
matter
that,
tomorrow, whatever your child is going through, a jealousy or an anger or an irritation or a frustration or a failure, just say it's okay.
right, right.
Right? Wow. So nice.
Actually, you have revealed another beautiful practical tool here, right? So I will extend it further. So in the nature, right? In the nature or this space which is holding us inside right now, where you are sitting, I am sitting. There are trees outside, there are buildings, there are different people. Some people may be going to office, different expressions of people, individuals. Some people may be fighting somewhere on the road. Some people may be, some may be making love, some may be eating,
Correct.
relishing different experiences. So now what is happening is this one awareness which is there, the consciousness, the field of consciousness, it is also teaching us a lesson of fatherhood. It is allowing all these expressions at the same time, night
Yes.
and day, positive and negative, honesty, dishonesty. Someone is stealing right now in this moment. Someone may be donating and contributing. All of the flavors, non-judgmental, in complete non-judgmental way, the one consciousness is accepting. It is allowing all of this,
Yes.
right? That is what, what the question, your initial question.
Yeah.
What is what is real fatherhood?
Yes.
Because this gives the space of expression. If 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 the fatherhood, now I'm talking about the consciousness, if that fatherhood is giving a space to a thief, okay, you steal, and not hindering the process, not giving him a gyan, good or bad, giving him space. That thief may stumble upon an experience where he himself may realize, he or she himself may realize, okay, I am done with it, and now I will contribute. So just
Yes.
like that, a child themselves may, your inner child or your outer child may themselves may, if you hold that space for them, a practical tool which you just revealed, if you just allow that space of jealousy, accepting their jealousy, looking at it, accepting it, jealousy, okay, kuch bhi hai, good, bad, okay. Just by your being present as a father to your inner child or your outer child, just by looking at them, okay, ठीक है ना, कुछ नहीं होता. My child will himself or herself come to that realization that, okay, my experience of this is done, jealousy is done, my learning is done, and now I will move on to another emotion, another experience.
Yes. And when we were saying this, that brought me to another realization that you went there because you had a heartbreak,
Yes.
right? Deep inside you, that was not something good which happened to you. That was your feeling that, why it happened to me.
Right.
But now what nature is telling is it's okay. It's a heartbreak. It's okay. But
Yeah.
somewhere when we go through some downfalls, we're like, no, it's not okay for me. I don't want to go through it. Because we want all the, highs are like a bed of roses. But when we go through very low moments, we feel so dejected, rejected. And there is Mother Nature with open arms that come, it's okay. And then we realize, okay, so it's okay to have a heartbreak. It's okay if someone cheats on you.
And especially in my case, I was going there with a feeling of guilt and regret. I did wrong. I made this mistake. If I would have done this in this manner, it would not have. So I was going with all of that self grudge.
Mm.
I was in that zone of self pitying or self hurting myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then nature accepted.
Yes.
When humans may judge you, right? Where I am judging my own self. Why should I talk about anyone else? When I am judging my own self,
Yeah.
in that particular moment, the space around me is saying, come.
Yes.
The same thing happened with my Gurudev also, but that is another story. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
someday, as we progress, I will share that. So this is what the essence of being a father is. This is
Yes.
what essence of being a leader is. You allow that space, and you can write it down, note it down, everyone who's listening to this right now. You cannot give that space to your child, your outside child, or your team. If you are a lead, you cannot give them that space if you are not first allowing that space to your own self. So you need to meet the, what the topic, what do you say? You need to meet that father within your own self first. You need to be a father to your own self. What Suji shared in her journey, that she stumbled upon it and she realized, even though you were not aware of the term father, Suji, but hence I asked you a question, what do you expect from your father?
Yes.
When you said, I gave that space to my own self, so didn't you created your father within you?
Yeah. Definitely. And that changed the entire perception of it now.
Your connection changed with your father, your connection changed with your own self, your expression changed.
Yes. And all this while I was thinking it was my dad who did wrong to me. But after my realization and working on myself, now my bonding with my dad is even better than any friend. I find a friend in him than a dad. And now the kind of conversations we have is a lot more open. So I totally understand that, it all begins with you. It
Because
all
you
begins.
are having open conversations within you.
Yes.
That is why you can have it with him.
Yeah. And no matter what type of conversation it is, it could be low moments, it could be high moments, but having that openness to at least speak up
Right,
and feel that, you have created that space for yourself.
right. And another flavor which is occurring to me right now of father, in that umbrella of a fatherhood, is that a father has to be very aware. He has to be free from any kind of conditioning. So a father is always going to be in a process of unlearning and relearning. As we said in the last podcast also, fatherhood is a journey. Father
Yes,
is not a complete. You don't become a doctor. You keep on becoming doctor as you treat patients. You learn something new every time.
correct.
Similarly, in a journey of a fatherhood, you need to unlearn and relearn and unlearn and relearn, because the more you expand, the more your inner child expands, and that is exactly what you are going to give to your outer child. So you need to expand. If you are bringing a child in this universe, a physical child I'm talking about, if you are becoming a biological father, you are adopting a child, or you are nurturing a team, भाई हमें अपने आप को एक्सपैंड करना पड़ेगा in all dimensions: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Because now it is our loving responsibility, highest responsibility which we have asked for, which we can ask for on this planet Earth.
Totally. Because fatherhood itself is a beautiful leadership journey.
It's a divine leadership journey. Like
Yes,
now this completely changes the face of what we were considering a leader to be until now. लीडर तो बहुत गहरा हो गया है, like leader
yeah,
goes very very deep, like who is a leader, who should be,
correct.
what qualities a leader must have.
Yeah, because the moment we say about leadership, or even in our entire journey of working, the moment we hear the word leader, we think, okay, it's related to work. It's nothing got to do with personal life.
Right, right. And also very rigidness comes to the mind when you say, the leader upright,
Yeah.
stiff
Yes,
leader, and stern, disciplined, right?
like commando.
Like a commando. But as we have been establishing in the previous podcast as well, leader is also this stern, but leader is also this,
The flowing one. Yeah.
right? That is
Yes.
what that is what the nature is teaching us. That is what nature has rules, nature has laws, but nature is also soft and mellow.
Yeah.
So the lessons are everywhere around us now.
Yes. It's about just being open to it.
So
And
what, Suji, right? Right since our birth, we have been given this lessons, all around us, like of fatherhood, of parenthood, of motherhood, right since our birth. If nature, because nature has been there right since our birth, right?
yes.
तो यानी कि ये लेसन्स तो हमें बचपन से मिल रहे हैं, बट हम यही है कि वर वी ओपन इनफ टू रिसीव देम,
Yeah.
और वर वी लिविंग आवर ओन ड्रीम्स,
Correct.
राइट?
Yeah, I think maybe the first half of the phase went in expecting from others. Like,
Hmm.
let them do for us. Let them take care of us. Let them love us. But as we started realizing that, nothing comes as long as you don't express. Your expression matters the most. If
Right.
you're not ready to surrender, okay, fine, I am feeling heartbroken at this moment. And I need to make myself feel calm, make myself feel peaceful, like I am there for myself. And that is, creating that protective space, like how you said. And if we are not creating it for ourselves, tomorrow getting into a work, being with people around, we cannot give that space. We may want to grow, we might want to aspire to grow in a career. But growth comes when you take people along. But
Yeah.
when you don't have that, attribute of giving that space, giving that openness, then the leadership may not sustain for a long period of time.
और कहीं ना कहीं वो स्पेस आप अपने आप को भी तो नहीं दे रहे ना, तभी तो आप दूसरों को।
So, what you don't give to yourself, it
Yeah.
will neither come to anybody else nor anyone will give it to you.
Right. Right. Yeah, जैसे this is a quote I think from Rumi, or I don't know, I'm not sure. Like, you can only meet the other to the extent where you have met yourself.
Yeah,
So you started with meeting the father, right?
yes,
अगर आप अपने, if you have not yet met the inner father, the inner protector, masculine energy,
yes,
तो फिर आप बाहर भी वो नहीं कर पाओ.
very much. And yes, today I think we talk a lot about going deep into yourself, about your self excavation, which is happening, to see what is inside you, to acknowledge, to at least know, hey, I know you're going through this pain,
Right, right,
right? And creating that space for you to heal and come out and feel that transformation happening.
right.
Because only then we can give that space to our child. Tomorrow, when the child grows up, they look up to you as a role model because now they know that, these are the attributes which I would also love to live in my life. So when you as a parent or as a father, you're doing that for your child, like you said, that's the best gift you can give to your child.
Yeah.
And when it comes to your work life, you flourish. Not just you, but people around you flourish along with you. No matter where these people tomorrow, they might go to different organizations, but you, your personality, the way you touched their heart will always remain with them.
Hmm. Right.
Right. And when you said about nature, I think that is where all these learnings come together. Because nature itself is the protector and the nurturer.
Nature itself is the, yeah, 100%.
Right. And when you are in the midst of nature, this magic was meant to happen in your life. It had to connect you to your own self, where you are right now as an Alpha Dad coach, feeling that fatherhood every single day, in every single moment, in every single task that you do. You feel that companionship of the energy, though it's not in the physical form, but you feel it.
And it is expanding every single month. Even right now, it is expanding. The way what I speak,
Yeah.
yeah, I am holding that space for myself.
Wow.
Everything, like it's just expanding and expanding.
Wonderful.
Now, before we close today's session, I also just want to highlight few things. When we don't do this, when we don't be a father to our own self, how can I, how can it impact our life, right? So, Suji, now I just want to ask you this question. We won't take much time with this now, because people must also know, right? What is the consequence if I am not doing this? Because usually we are driven by pain and pleasure. If we understand what is the pain, is it, it's causing me in my life, how is it guiding my light when I am holding onto the torch of the pain and walking
Mm.
with that pain? then we feel motivated to bring that change and transformation, right?
Yeah.
So when you were in your journey of self healing and you realized, like initially when you were not being when you had not met that father within you, what kind of challenges were you facing in your life?
Of course, I was mostly self-doubting myself because I never felt I'm capable of doing a task or leading a team or working with people around. It came to a stage where I started judging myself and I started judging people around me.
Hmm.
That is where I started feeling people were just moving away. So I literally felt that, I need to clear a lot of crap inside me because if I don't do this, I'm going to share this with everyone.
Right. So it
And then
was,
what I'm going to lose is I'm going to lose out a lot of good people in my life. I'm going to lose out good opportunities in my life. And gradually, I also started seeing that it started taking a toll on my health also.
hmm.
I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. I had a cyst in my ovary. I had a lot of health conditions which were popping up. And then I felt now it's high time because the body is filled with a lot of unwanted, unresourceful things, which all needs to come out.
Or in
And
other
that realization was a game changer for me.
right. Or in other way, you can also say that, like there were a lot of stuff inside of you, but there was no space provided for its expression. All these things, cyst or whatever health conditions you
Yeah,
observed in your physical body are emotions. क्या चाहिए था उन्हें, वो क्या मांग रहे थे, वो एक्सप्रेशन मांग रहे
correct.
थे, वो स्पेस ऐसा था
Yeah,
कि
very suppressed, very congested, suffocating it was. Like I literally felt sometimes like I need to end my life. I had those thoughts also.
and the only change, you might have practiced a lot of modalities and just like me, but the in the end what you did was eventually you opened the space
Yeah,
and this expression started coming out where now you can express, tell yourself I love you, sit with yourself and talk, right? Be a
yes,
father to yourself. बस ये हुआ तो स्पेस दे दिया आपने.
correct.
And this is exactly what happens, like what Suji has shared. If we are not allowing that space to our own self, we are congesting ourselves. We are, ऐसे कर देते हो हम क्या, you would use suffocating, right?
Yes,
And this impacts our relationships. This impacts our, we are always frustrated. We, agar if I talk about in terms of, a man, always trying to, assume new fights every single day. कभी रोड रेज में अटक जाओगे, गाड़ी से उतर जाओगे सीधा.
yeah,
Always have those curse words on your mouth, tip of your mouth. Immediately you will say that, right?
yes,
Always being in that energy of aggression, anger, frustration, irritation. उलझते रहोगे दूसरों से. And it impacts, like it impacts deeply. And it is always followed by a deep regret and guilt.
yeah,
We will carry on this conversation in the next podcast, like we will go into the detail of what are the consequences of if we don't work upon this, because we all need to understand why is this important for your
correct.
child and for your inner child, for yourself as well. All right.
Yes.
So yes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kabir. It was more of an experiment that we did today, learning from each other's story and bringing that to the audience. That if you're not ready to open, if you're not ready to see what is inside you and accept that it's okay, and this is a journey that we need to, step into, which is a journey of healing. Because healing is also a process, fatherhood is also a process, leadership is also a process. And if we are not open to expand this, then it would take its own slow and gradual pace, but a lot more of damages.
Right.
But now that, in our journey also, it took a good amount of time, almost a decade, where we had to go through what we went through. And then the transition happened.
Then the transition happened. But one best aspect is, like for me and for you also, we were trying and testing. There was no guidance available.
Yeah.
So now the best part is we have our experience, we have the tools in our kitty, what we figured out in all of these years, right? Investing time, energy, practices. Now it becomes easy for people who want to go into this journey to, they don't have to grind,
Yes.
spend so much time. The
Correct.
path is set. The path is set.
Very much. Because now that you have a skilled Kabir who is experienced, who is implemented,
Right.
the different things to see life changing for the betterment, to progress, to create that space for his fatherhood, to be that nurturer, be that provider, be that supporter, be that protective space where you as a person can flourish and your inner younger self, which we would talk about in the upcoming sessions, so that you know what is this inner child we are talking about. So we would get more clarity on it. But at the same time, you are preparing yourself, like how he said about engineering or medical or whatever stream that you're following, you pursue for years. Even after that, when you get into the experience, you're still improvising every single day. Likewise, parenting, fatherhood is similar. You
Right.
need to commit so that you can expand. When you expand, you evolve and you allow others also to, embrace that space, especially your child. So today again we had a beautiful session and there's a lot of learnings, lot of things. I think we don't have a track of time because we give a lot. We
Hmm.
love adding more value into people's life and we want to see people transforming in life. And these are the tools which you might have got a glimpse of how things can, transform and transition your life for a better fatherhood or for a better leadership. And if you feel that you need to connect and you need to take this further, I want to release that baggage. I want to come out of it like a phoenix. You can connect with Kabir. You can have a one on one, discuss with him. And maybe I think you start off with a free discovery call to connect with the client, right? Wow, that's even more beautiful. Like, that is the true intention of service. So you get to know what he serving you, right? And then you take a call how you proceed and what you do about it. So thank you all for watching in. Thank you, Kabir, for again such a beautiful, such a deep conversation. Because every time we have a conversation, I think it's connecting us more closer to our goals, making us live those moments right now, right? And thank you to all the viewers. Do share everything that you have learned from today's episode and also from the last three episodes. Immense knowledge, beautiful tools and techniques were shared. Go watch it and practice it in your life. If you feel that, yes, I need that hand holding, I need that support, I need that accountability partner, Kabir is right here, right? I would share the link in the description also so that you can go ahead, follow him on LinkedIn, follow him on Instagram, and build that bonding where you have someone to mentor you, someone to coach you. So for now, we close it here, but we look forward to see you all in episode 5 very soon next week. And thank you, Kabir. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day.
God bless you all. Take care. Immense love to you.
Thank you.